Don't be greedy. Once upon a time, there lived two traveling merchants who sold tools made of brass. The two merchants had different temperaments. The first trader is a greedy person and is willing to do bad things in order to get the maximum profit. The second trader is a person who is patient, diligent, honest, and kind. One day, a greedy merchant passed by a grandmother and her granddaughter. The grandmother called and approached the merchant, then said, "My grandson wants new cutlery. Would you trade that utensil for this old bowl of mine?" The merchant looked closely at the old grandmother's bowl. He muttered, "This bowl is made of gold. The price must be very expensive." But it seems that this granny doesn't know it. Bad intentions appeared in the greedy merchant's heart. He wanted to get the bowl at a cheap price by taking advantage of the grandmother's ignorance. He said to the grandmother, "This bowl is worthless because it is too old. But if you want, I'll trade it for a spoon." The grandmother sighed in disappointment. "Isn't it too cheap?" "This bowl is an inheritance from my husband," she said. "If you don't want to, fine," said the greedy merchant, pretending to be indifferent. He walked away from his grandmother. But in his heart he planned to go back to see Grandma the next day. Not long after, a second merchant or an honest merchant also passed the grandmother and grandson's place. "Hey, would you mind swapping this old bowl for the cutlery you sold?" Grandma asked the honest merchant. The merchant took the antique bowl from the grandmother's hand, then studied it carefully. His brows were wrinkled. When he finished, he said to the grandmother, "This bowl is made of gold. The price is very expensive. All these things that I brought will not be enough to pay for it." "It's all right," replied the grandmother with a smile, pleased with the merchant's honesty. "Take the bowl and give me the proper amount of cutlery." "Okay, I gave all my goods and my money," replied the merchant. After thanking him, he said goodbye to the grandmother. The next day, the greedy merchant returned to visit the grandmother. He was about to bid on the bowl that the grandmother was about to sell yesterday. However, how disappointed he was when he found out that the precious bowl had been sold to other traders. He regretted being greedy so that in the end he failed to get the golden bowl that was sold by the grandmother. He came home unsteadily. In his heart, he promised not to be greedy again. Meanwhile, the honest merchant lives full of wealth. After selling the golden bowl received from the grandmother. Even though he is already rich, the honest merchant still works diligently every day, selling his wares with full honesty. Greed and dishonesty will only harm ourselves. On the other hand, honest people always have their luck. Let's stay away from greed and always try to be honest in everyday life. Thank you for watching.